What a week. So we have called together the Sunday Roundtable. Joining us this morning, Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh and Republican political analyst Rob Gray. Guys, thanks for your time this morning. We've got a lot to cover, but first let's start with Michelle Wu. You just heard her. Any advice for her as she launches the campaign? Marianne, let's start with you.
Michelle Wu has to become the challenger to Marty Walsh, and the way she does that is in fundraising and in the polls. But it's going to be a real challenge to overcome Andrea Campbell. I think the two of them are going to slug it out for a long time, but that's her task at hand right now.
Rob?
There has to be a sharper message about why we need change than she had today. I mean, the campaign is a year out, so she has a little bit of time, but you have to tell people why Boston needs to change. And Marianne makes a good point. This preliminary election, maybe it is a hurdle that she has to get over, and Andrea Campbell could be running against Marty Walsh in the final instead of Michelle Wu.
As you guys know, we try to stay local on this show, but it's hard to ignore that presidential debate that happened earlier in the week, and then the news the president has contracted COVID. All of this chaos and uncertainty a month before the election. What are the road signs you're going to be looking for in these final weeks? Let's start with you, Rob.
Well, we have our October surprise right off the bat here, and it's not one manufactured by candidates, which is the traditional way that it happens. Kissinger said pieces at hand to Vietnam in 1972 to help Nixon in October. I mean, this changes the campaign completely, changes the schedule. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but we know it's a massive, massive impact.
What are you going to be looking for, Marianne?
Well, this could not be the only surprise. I mean, the fact is it could freeze the race or it could upend it. And either one of those is an advantage to Biden. If it freezes the race, Joe Biden's ahead in all the national polls and every state poll that matters. But if it upends the race, then Joe Biden and the Democrats basically have a tidal wave that goes through this election and takes not only the White House, the Senate, and the House, but a bunch of state legislatures too, lots more members of Congress, and that has a direct bearing on the next 4 years, bar none. But that's where we are today, and Biden's got to be feeling pretty good like that. Not that Democrats can let their foot off the gas now.
Well, let's talk about campaigning, because we've got, about 30 days to go now. How will it be affected in the presidential race? Of course, it's hard to imagine there's going to be a debate between these two individuals on October 15th, but also in all the other down ballot races. Marianne, let's start with you.
I think everyone, and Michelle Wu talked about this, everyone's adapted to campaigning during COVID now, whether it's using digital technology, Zoom. There are lots of ways to do doors now, including taking the phone numbers off the voter file, contacting a voter, asking if you can come to their door to have a socially distanced conversation like you normally would do. So I don't think it really in the end is going to change that much, but it will for Donald Trump personally, no question about it. He won't be out on the trail. He won't be doing rallies, and we'll see if Joe Biden continues, but if he tests negative, he should be able to do so.
Rob Gray, you'd have to think that it's a disadvantage for your party in a state that is heavily Democratic.
Well, I think Trump is already in a tough spot. I think the biggest change from COVID and campaigning is voting by mail. We now have it in Massachusetts. Many other states have implemented it. 9 states were already voting in September. Another 7 are going to join them this week. I predict it will become a permanent thing here in Massachusetts, and that will change elections very much in the future, because now we have 35 to 40 election days starting in late September instead of one election day on the final day.
The state's high-risk communities the number is now at 23, yet Governor Baker is urging low-risk cities and towns, some of which border these high-risk areas, to open places like museums, theaters, bowling alleys to 50% capacity. The medical community isn't on board with this decision. Is Baker taking a big political risk here, Marianne?
Yes, because it seems that he's being worn down by the political pressure that's been brought to bear on him. And the cost is not where there are no benefits here. There are only costs. And by capitulating now, instead of being strong and resolute, he's giving in. And that will likely result in increased cases and unfortunately more deaths. Don't do it, because if that happens, then that's a huge political price you're going to pay, especially now as we go into the really tough months of fall and winter.
Rob, is Marianne right about that?
I think she is. It's a big risk. And you have to remember there's a huge cohort of voters in this state who are a lot more concerned about the schools than they are museums and the type of things we're talking about. And they want the governor to focus on the schools, getting the schools open, They want the testing directed at the schools so that these kids can get back to learning. There's a crisis in education going on in this state. It started last spring. And that's where they want leadership from the governor.
Yeah, I want to follow up on that, actually. And we can talk about MCAS, because they're back on the schedule, apparently, for public school students. I'm a parent of 2 kids myself, school age, and I can tell you those virtual days that they're at home, they're not full school days. So what's the benefit or risk here for the governor? Should it be pushing harder on schools or not? Marianne, let's start with you.
You have to fix the virus first before you do schools. As it is, we don't know the effect it has on kids. If your kid ends up with neurological damage, then what are they going to learn? Fix the virus first, then we'll go to school.
Rob?
Well, I think he's doing everything he can to fix the virus, but you cannot underestimate the crisis that's going on in education right now. Curriculums are being cut day by day. Hybrid learning is no solution. We have to get the kids back. Of course, you need a vaccine, but this MCAS test is not going to happen. No way.